Hi, good morning. My name is Reinaldo Aguiar. Today is June the 10th, 2025, and it's about 7:00 p.m. Central Time, US Central Time. So this video is part of the series I titled Rapid Fire Tips for Law Enforcement. There's a data point I need to surface, and it requires some context in case any federal agencies are watching, right? So they have something to anchor to. The main topic of today is going to be a connection between the geo-index of Vladimir Padrino Lopez, the Venezuelan Minister of Defense, and the physical compound where Osama Bin Laden was killed in 2011. I know that sounds like a very strong claim, so I want to be very methodical in how I present this. The goal here is not to offer conclusions, but to present verifiable data that I believe warrants a serious investigation. Looking at everything I've learned through my work on what I call open source counterintelligence, I've come to believe that certain geopolitical actors who appear disconnected are in fact using a common hidden infrastructure. This data point, I think, begins to show the contours of that infrastructure. Okay, please check the description of the video. It contains a link to the output of the SpyHELL pipeline. What you will be looking at there is a tool I developed. You can find more information about it at www.SpyHELL.org. I'm running a command here using my SpyHELL module. And what this command does is it scans a very specific geographic area for what the backend calls paramilitary assets that are marked in the geo-index tied to Vladimir Padrino Lopez. Now look at the coordinates I've used. The latitude is 34.1693 and the longitude is 73.2424. These are the exact coordinates of the compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan, where Osama Bin Laden was killed. I'm running a search within a 1600-foot radius of that point. My system found 6 distinct geo-entities within that small radius. You can see them here with their latitudes, longitudes, and their scores. This one, just 219 meters from the center of the compound, has a Vladimir Padrino Lopez paramilitary score of 294,000. These other ones are also very high. These are not random numbers. They are deterministic scores extracted directly from the geo-index that was leaked to me. Now, I have to be fair. As you can see in my notes here, Vladimir Padrino Lopez officially became Minister of Defense in 2014, and the raid on Bin Laden's compound was in 2011. A person might say, how can this be connected? But I think that's the wrong way to look at it. The way these organizations work, it's a long-term game. I imagine Vladimir Padrino Lopez didn't start using this geo-index on his first day as Minister of Defense. This kind of infrastructure is built over many years, perhaps decades. The fact that the compound was already marked in this system years before he took that title, that is the data point. It shows the system was already in place. And this brings me to the next step, which is to expand the arc a little bit. If you look at this image above the terminal, you'll see I've noted that the compound displays what my pipeline calls the immune geo-entities pattern. But the basic idea is that certain sensitive locations are not just marked, they are surrounded by other marked entities that act as a kind of digital buffer. But the question this raises is, who built this system and who uses it? Padrino Lopez is one user, but if you look at the side note I wrote here for myself, you'll see the question that this data forced me to ask. Could this finding potentially elevate the PayPal Mafia to the category of a terrorist organization? Now, I understand how that sounds. You have a Venezuelan general, an Al-Qaeda safe house, and now a group of American tech entrepreneurs. They seem completely disconnected. But in programming, we have a concept called duck typing. If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. When you see the same sophisticated state-sponsored patterns of digital architecture and financial obfuscation appearing across all these groups, you have to start asking these questions. You have to follow the data. So, just to summarize, we have a known terrorist compound. That compound is heavily marked in a paramilitary geo-index tied to a Venezuelan state actor. The marking predates his official appointment, suggesting a long-running operation. and the patterns observed are similar to those used by other powerful networks. I really invite law enforcement agencies to look into this. All they have to do is subpoena the right logs, and they will see this is verifiable. If I'm wrong, I implore you, please tell me. But at least check it out, because if this data is what it appears to be, it's not just a historical curiosity. It is a key piece in understanding a live global criminal infrastructure, and this is just one data point.